There was a professor in this country years ago by the name of William James. He announced what he called the as-if principle. I've spoken about it many times. If you want to be one way which you're not, you act as if you were the other way. For example, if you're full of fear and you don't want to be full of fear, you act as if you were full of courage, and the more you act that way, the more you think that way, the more all of the forces of your nature conspire to make you that way. You can become any way you want to become if you want to be badly enough, and if you think that way, and if you act that way. Now, you may say to me this morning, this enthusiasm business is all great, but I haven't got any enthusiasm. And you can't go and buy it in a store, so if you haven't got enthusiasm, how can you be enthusiastic? Well, the answer to that is you start acting enthusiastic. The next day you get up, which is tomorrow morning, you speak in an enthusiastic manner to your wife or to your husband or to whoever's around. And you talk enthusiastically to everybody all day long. And it'll become that way.
Today, the as-if principle is often called visualization. It simply means that you see what you want so clearly in your mind that it actually becomes true. The great Olympic decathlon star, Milt Campbell, used as-if visualization when he was training for competition. As a little boy of 12 or 13, he stood in front of the mirror, stuck out his scrawny chest, and declared, "I am the greatest athlete in the world." His brother laughed at him, but young Milt never let the laughter stop him. For the next 10 years, he trained and walked and talked as if he were indeed the greatest athlete in the world. When people ridiculed him, he brushed it off. He was determined to never let his enthusiasm wane for an instant. And he read a newspaper account of his achievements. The headline read, "Milt Campbell, World's Greatest Athlete." The as-if principle, propelled by laser-focused enthusiasm, worked for a little boy from the ghettos in New Jersey. And it can work for you and me in exactly the same way. Simply decide what you want and live your life with joy and energy as if it were yours already.
Besides visualization, Dr. Peel believed that another way you could produce enthusiasm was by loving the life you live.
Now, how then does one try enthusiasm on his life? It's just as simple as this. Cultivate the ability to love living. Love the people who live. Love the sky under which you live. Love all of the facets of living. Jesus taught that the person who loves becomes happy. The person who loves everything becomes enthusiastic, filled with the zest and the joy of life. It's just this simple. Now, this isn't a profound thing I'm saying to you. It's a simple thing. If you're not enthusiastic, begin today to cultivate the simplicity of loving living.
When Dr. Peel says cultivate the simplicity of loving living, it sounds easier to say than it is to do. The truth is, joy and enthusiasm can make any life fuller, richer, and more rewarding.
If you want to increase your level of enthusiasm, the first step is to look for the good in yourself. Stop putting yourself down. Wipe away thoughts of failure and memories of mistakes. See yourself as the competent and worthwhile person you really are. When you feel good about yourself, you'll begin to feel good about everything else.
Step 2. Throw away all thoughts of self-pity. Start thinking of the good you've gained instead of what you've lost. If you've never done it before, you might want to sit down and list all your assets in terms of personality, talent, friends, family, health, all the intangibles that make up your real wealth. A sunny day in the backyard can be just as great a treasure as a fancy vacation. It all depends on what kind of enthusiasm you bring to it.
The third step toward a more enthusiastic life is to stop thinking of yourself and look for someone else who needs your help. Step outside yourself. Get involved with issues and causes. Develop passionate interests. Whenever you can, give freely of your time and energy. It's time to stop wasting your time and energy on rehashing past failures or disappointments. Start thinking what positive things you can do right now. Be constructive instead of destructive. The past is gone and can't be brought back and changed. Every day when you awaken, you have the opportunity for a new beginning. Start fresh today. Plan for tomorrow. And forget yesterday.
And step 4. Look at every tribulation as a challenge that can be turned into a treasure if you approach it with enthusiasm. This means developing a heightened awareness of this power within you. Enthusiasm is contagious. Learn it, live it, and pass it on. Beyond these 4 steps, Dr. Peel used to tell about the 11 big plan, which can almost guarantee a change in your attitude.
Now, I met a man the other day at a meeting where I spoke. He told me how he'd messed up his life and how the failure he'd been, how his enthusiasm had departed from him. But he said he read one of my little sermons in which I advocated praying big, believing big, and so forth. And he told me that he knew he'd been small. I guess he got the eagle concept. He wanted to be an eagle. But he said, I've improved on what you had in your sermon. He said, I've adopted the 11 big plan. And he reeled it off to me, and I copied it down. This is what he says he does every morning and every night. Pray big, think big, believe big, act big, dream big, work big, give big, forgive big, love big, be big, laugh big. Isn't that tremendous? So when you go out of here this morning, remember those 11 things. Pray big, think big, believe big, act big, dream big, work big, give big, forgive big, love big, be big, and laugh big. And you'll find that he has filled your mind with good things so that you can be young and strong like an eagle. And you'll have enthusiasm going for you as long as you live. Now, the question I'd like to put to you is, would you like to have the best